Okay, welcome to episode 5 of the OverLimit podcast. I'm Otto, and I'm with Spoon. Hello, Spoon. Oh my goodness, I can't hear you. I think you're still muted, my friend. Oh, I know what happened. I'm sorry. Technical issues. 1 second. I apologize. Go ahead and say something again, Spoon.
Yeah, I'm here.
That was a technical issue on my end, my fault. So, like I said, episode 5, I'm with Spoon. Happy holidays to everybody, whatever you're celebrating. I hope you're having a good break time, whether it's from school or work. For me, Spoon and I, it's school, and
Yep.
I know for some people though, who I talked to earlier and such, it's a good break from work to get some nice rest before having to go back at it next week. So we've got some news today. We were going to talk about some of the releases from the Game Awards that we didn't touch upon last week. We'll talk about some of those, and then we were going to talk about some of the games that we've been playing, and then maybe just having normal conversation regarding the holidays and such. But before we get into all of that, let's do an introduction. I won't say this is going to be a quick introduction because there are several things I wanted to mention, and then Spoon, obviously, you can add on to it as well. So first things first, we haven't had either myself or Spoon do a our games this particular week. Spoon was planning to do his yesterday, but didn't really feel up to it, so he ended up skipping yesterday. But hopefully
Hopefully
at some point,
tomorrow,
yeah, hopefully tomorrow.
tomorrow, or tomorrow or Friday, I'm thinking I'll do the next episode
Okay,
of Walking Dead. I know Friday's Christmas, but I'm not really doing
okay,
anything that day for the most part. So
okay. So maybe
yeah,
we'll get a holiday Christmas stream
maybe yeah.
from Spoon playing Walking Dead. You're on episode 3, so I can tell
Yep.
you you are, I would say, got 7 hours left of that game. I would say 7 hours is probably safe to say. So maybe just a couple more streams of that. And for me, I have Xenoblade Chronicles, and that's going to start next week. I don't want to commit to like the weekend or something. I'd much prefer to just say I'll start next week because I have a lot of time to start playing that game next week. So now that that's out of the way, I also wanted to mention that if you are currently not following the stream or Twitter or the YouTube or any of that stuff, we have bot commands in the Twitch chat for that. Feel free to use exclamation point Twitter, exclamation point YouTube, and so on to see what those links are and be sure you're following. For
And
the
if you're not,
Twitter,
and if
go
you're
ahead.
not in the Discord,
Yeah, so
exclamation mark Discord, join the Discord.
yes, please do that as well. The What I was going to say for Twitter is if you guys are following our Twitter, you should, we would appreciate that you would follow, retweet, like all those tweets and everything like that. For the YouTube, I've seen some people commenting, which is great. I know Brea and Try Courage have been pretty much giving comments on all the videos now, which is it's very helpful, honestly, to do that. And we've been trying to sort of reply back and forth to those. If if you do want to help support us as well, that's a great way to do it. Just put a comment regarding the video itself or something else that we want to see. I personally am looking at that stuff, particularly when I upload new videos to YouTube. I'll see those comments. So we appreciate all that stuff. Keep doing it because it really does help. It's a helpful thing to do. So that's the Twitter and YouTube thing. The I want to talk about movie night real quick. Movie night Saturday, 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be watching the new Sonic movie that came out this past February. So if you're interested in that, be sure to react so I can see the head count. And we'll be doing a, I'll be live streaming that in the Discord server with my movie library. If you have other movie suggestions or perhaps like a TV show maybe we should watch together, please put that in the Discord server in the appropriate channel. It should be the movie night channel. Okay, I'm trying to think. Is there anything? Oh, and then the last thing. This will be fast. I'm setting up a Stardew Valley game with his name is Tororo in our server, Tororo Shinpei. If you're interested in that, let us know. We can get 4 people total in that, so we need 2 more people if people want to join. And That would be great. We're gonna start a new farm there. Phasmophobia will probably be delayed a little bit this week because of the holidays, and also I'm still trying to coordinate and figure out what day works best for that. Okay, that's the intro for all that stuff. Spoon, is there anything added on top of that that I missed? Because I'm sure I missed something.
Um, no, I think you covered pretty much everything. We will get to again the when we did the chat requested games from a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure we'll get to Hades, uh,
Yeah, we've been talking about
hopefully
that.
at some point. Just as a side note, I will be here next week, but the week after that, actually next Friday, I'm going out of town for a week, so
So,
Friday to Friday. So
week off from podcast, basically, or we can maybe
yeah,
have somebody else hop in.
or you can invite someone to take my
Sure.
place for a week if you want to do that.
Ooh, that should be
Um,
interesting. We'll
so
have to figure out who I'm gonna invite. Okay,
yeah.
that should be fun. We'll see who I want to
Um,
invite.
and I've mentioned it before, and I know Sonic is the plan for this weekend, so I don't want to change this, but I do want to do Your Name as a movie night
Okay,
at some point as
okay.
well.
We'll put that
And
in the
again, I
backlog for sure.
I don't I'll just rent it on somewhere or something. I own the movie on Blu-ray, but my computer doesn't have a Blu-ray
Yeah, yeah,
player, so I
yeah,
can't do it that way. Yeah,
for
I'll
sure.
I'll I'll find a way to play it. Like you won't have to buy it or anything
Yeah,
like
sure,
that.
sure,
So,
sure, sure, sure. So
um,
we'll coordinate that. That could be like this week is Sonic, but maybe next week. No, I'm sorry, not next week because you're gone, but the week after that when you come back.
yeah, I mean, unless we wanted to do it during the week or something like
Sure.
that.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. The only issue I have during the week is just people have work. I
yeah, no,
personally thought weekends would work best.
I know. Yeah, no. Generally, I agree with that. But
Okay. Okay. So anything else? I don't want to move forward before we. Was there anything else?
no, I think that's
Okay.
it.
So let us all move forward, and not into game news right away. Actually, there's one other thing I wanted to quickly touch on. Hopefully, it's actually showing up on the screen when I switch to the next overlay. Okay. So just really quickly, wanted to mention last night I added a bunch of BTTV emotes. If there are any in here that you're not seeing that I should add, you should let me know. We can have on a free account 15 total, and I've put 7 on here. So please let me know if you want me to post any more BTTV emotes. And if you don't have BTTV connected onto your Twitch so that you can see them, there's you just search up Google how to set it up, but there's like a Chrome extension you can get set up. We haven't done anything with Franker Facey, but at some point I'll sit down and I'll get that set up for the channel, and we can also talk about FFZ emotes that we should be adding. So just wanted to mention that real fast before moving to game news. So now let me switch up to my other Chrome here. Hopefully it's the correct one. Whoops. Where'd it go? Whoop. Okay, that was interesting. It like disappeared. Hold on. I don't know where it went. There it is. Yeah. Side note: be careful minimizing tabs and all that. Okay. So for our first bit of news, we have Twitch bans as the topic for this one. We last week, so the 17th, you can actually see it up here. A streamer by the name of Misbehavin' Official was banned, and the reason for the ban is not appropriate to show, but I will simply explain using a PG-13 explanation. She showed the goods for like 10 seconds, and she was banned for showing the goods. Okay? And by goods, I don't mean the top half, I mean the bottom half. So she was banned for this for 3 days. And people were not happy about this, that it was only a 3-day ban. I think there were obviously some people who were like defending it, saying, okay, well, it was a first time offense and all that. And she didn't know she was streaming. She thought she was recording, not streaming. This person has an OnlyFans account. So she explained, oh, I was recording for OnlyFans. But a lot of people, including myself, were also seeing, well, you did something that I would consider pornographic, and it was so bad that I feel like it warrants more than 3 days. So like we've seen things that are much much lighter get a harsher ban than this. As an example, I know of a streamer. I'm not going to name the streamer, but this streamer had a watch party using Amazon, and when they did this, oh hey, look, the follow alert worked by the way. When they did
Fuck.
this, they there was like nudity on the screen with watch party for briefly and got banned and is still banned to my knowledge. And they were banned 2 weeks ago. Accidental nudity on the stream using watch party, a Twitch integration that you can pick Amazon movies from. So this Amazon movie was available. They got banned for it. But this person who actively showed something pornographic, 3 days. So, Spoon, I think you've seen the clip of this. If you haven't,
I
again,
haven't.
just
I
okay.
actually haven't. I mean,
You,
I know. I mean, I don't know. I
yeah,
know what it looks like. I don't need to see it. I,
it's not something you actually want to look at. It's really
yeah.
not. It's just like okay, but again, it is pornographic in my opinion. This is a pornographic thing that was seen and was clipped. So and it is 100% as Triker said. It's as bad as you think it is. So just keep that all in mind. A 3-day ban for something that
Well,
it,
you said she thought she was recording something for
for OnlyFans,
OnlyFans,
correct?
so I'm assuming that it was like pretty
Yes.
presented very sexually
Yes. Oh,
and
absolutely.
things
Again, this is
in
something
that
you'd
manner.
see on Pornhub. This is
Yeah,
something you
on
see on Pornhub.
Pornhub. Yeah,
Absolutely.
sure.
This isn't like oh a nipple slip. This is like a
Yeah,
serious thing.
it's not a slip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that.
I
That's
mean,
one thing, you know.
when I originally heard this story, I was under the impression that it was fully intentional. So I'm I mean, I still think 3 days is definitely too light,
Mm,
especially the thing about the Twitch bans is it seems so random. It's like it seems like when someone does something against TOS, they just like pull a number out of a hat or like spin a wheel or something. It's like, all right,
mm.
what is this person gonna get today? Out 1 day, 3 days, 2 weeks perma ban? Who knows? It the bans don't seem like concordant with what they do. It just seems, yeah, exactly, very
It is
arbitrary. That was the
arbitrary.
word. That's the word that I was looking for.
Hmm.
Um, so
And that to
yeah,
people,
I don't
that's
know.
frustrating to people. By the way, that it is
Yeah, it is.
arbitrary. It's frustrating, as it should be. So I'm
Yeah.
glad you haven't
So
seen the clip. By the way, just don't look at the clip.
yeah,
It's just
I, I
it's not.
won't. Not
It's
intentionally, at
not
least.
even like it's just so bad. Um, I will mention that try Kirsch, please don't send it. Yes, okay. So I will mention there was another thing that was posted in our Discord server regarding somebody else who got banned. There was another streamer who got banned because their kid, who's under the age of 13, was typing in the chat on stream, like you could see it on stream, and that person was banned. I just want to update that. That person got unbanned very quickly because there was a lot of backlash for that, obviously. So there was an update a couple days ago. This person I think only got banned for a day, not even. So that's something I wanted to just say. Thank goodness that that person didn't get banned for more than like a couple hours. That was a very silly thing. So I just wanted to update that for sure. Okay, let me go to the next thing. Okay, we gotta talk about Cyberpunk. I didn't actually go find a video for all the Cyberpunk bugs, but I'm thinking I'm gonna do that right now. So can you do me a
I'm sure.
favor?
I'm sure you can find a YouTube
Yep, that is
compilation or something
exactly
like
what I'm
that.
about to do. Is I'm gonna find a YouTube compilation, Cyber Punk 2077 glitch compilation. There it is. I'm just gonna pick the first one, which has a lot of views. So we're gonna let me just pause it real quick once the ad plays. So I'm gonna put it on the screen. Spoon, can you talk through some of the things that happened in Cyberpunk? We had the PlayStation Store and Microsoft stuff, and then the investors considering lawsuit. Can you talk through some of that while I set this up?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure everyone. This has been almost the only thing happening in game news for the past week, to be honest. So I'm sure most of you have heard it already. But Basically, the after it took a week or maybe a little more than that, but Sony pulled their Sony decided they're offering full refunds for the game for PS4 for
Hmm.
anyone who wants it, and they pulled the game off the PS Store. You can't even buy it anymore on the PS Store. Um, so yeah, so that's good that Sony finally acquiesced to the refunds, and but yeah, it's real bad that
It's really bad.
they decide. I think the reason they pulled it off is because they just didn't. Generally, their refund policy, as we talked about last week, is there are no refunds, no matter what. Pretty
If you
much,
download the game,
yeah, that's right. If you've downloaded the
it's
game,
no refund. Yeah.
which in a lot of cases, in a lot of cases, you can download the game before the game's even out, so you don't even have to have booted it up. As long as you've downloaded the game, you can't get a refund.
Yep.
That's generally their policy. So I think the reason they pulled it off is they just don't want to deal with the refunds anymore. They're like, we'll just pull it off the store, and if they fix it at some point to where we can put it back on the store, they'll put it back on the store.
Right.
Um, and Microsoft, I'm pretty sure it's still on the Microsoft Store, but
Yes. So
they are
the
offering full refunds as well.
yeah, the support Twitter did post about this. I have it on the screen right now, but it's kind of hard to read. Sorry. But their support said to ensure that every player can get the experience they expect, we will be expanding our existing refund policy to offer full refunds to anyone who purchased Cyberpunk digitally from the store until further notice. So it is not removed from the store, but if you request a refund, you will get it, no matter what it
Yep.
seems like, according to this.
Um, so yeah, those are pretty much where it's at with refunds because the console version is supposedly pretty much unplayable.
Yep.
I again I haven't tried it yet. We do have a friend who bought it on PS4, and I think and he went through with the refund. He was like, yeah, I just couldn't do it. It's too
Yep.
much. Um, and then yeah, I saw another story last week where there's some people I think this was like a Polish law firm because CD Projekt Red is a Polish company.
Sure.
Um, that they were considering like a class. They're putting together, at least they're trying to put together a class action lawsuit against CD Projekt Red for like misrepresenting the product
Yep.
and deception, basically, in their corporate practices over this game.
Yes.
So we'll see if they get enough support for that actually to go through. It's not they haven't filed the lawsuit yet, but there were at least emails that went around like, "Hey, we're considering doing this. There's a law firm that is at least putting it together, and
Sure.
we'll see if it goes anywhere. It might not." Um, so yeah, I mean, Cyberpunk has been a disaster to say the least.
It's been
I know
terrible.
there's a good, from what I've heard, there's a good game under all of this nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Like the story is really great, the characters are really great. There's actually some really like intense and crazy quests that have you making very morally gray decisions, and there's apparently a lot of actually good stuff in the game if you can get past all the bugs and just the mess of a game that is. But a lot of the systems are apparently either just not there or incomplete. Apparently they touted some sort of crazy bounty system with the police where you could like pay off cops and stuff like that, and apparently the police system barely
Yeah,
exists.
the police
You know,
system is terrible right now.
they have like a star thing, but the police kind of spawn out of walls or spawn out of
They just
nowhere,
spawn out of
and
nowhere. Yep.
yeah, and they just seem to go away after a while if you just like turn a corner or something like that. So yeah, there's a lot of systems in the game that are just again either poorly implemented or not implemented at all. So yeah, and I'm gonna take this off of what Ko said on Drop Frames, but this game feels like that 6 months ago or so, some corpo walked in and was like, "Stop what you're doing and put make this game presentable, like fix the bugs. Like wherever we're at right now in development, I don't care. This game is
Mm-hmm.
coming out this year. We're meeting a deadline, and you get this game so that people can actually play it.
Sure.
It just feels like
That's probably what happened.
the game is 70 to 80% done, and they just stopped making new stuff and worked on polishing it basically. And obviously they didn't do a great job of
That's
that, but
That's probably
um,
what they did. They probably said, okay, at some point when they first started delaying the game, they said, okay, which system can we make this look presentable on, and what would it make sense to make it presentable on? And then somebody just decided, well, let's make it presentable on PC and just go from there. And all the developers were probably constantly telling them during this process, okay, the PC version is going to be functional to a certain extent, but everything else is going to be broken on release. And again, management probably just said, look, we can't delay this anymore. We have to hit a certain deadline for reporting purposes. Just make the PC version presentable. And that's probably what happened because they really wanted to hit end of year, before end of year. That's
yeah,
definitely what it seems like, at least based on what's happening now. And according to certain other articles I don't have here, but I've been seeing, they were up until release still trying to fix the game on console and everything. Like on release, like actually still adding in updates and things like that. I think they're
yeah,
trying to
no,
hit
and
a certain like before like report review or something like that. And again,
I'm
I think at the point before Cyberpunk was released, like the value of the stock was easily at its highest.
no, it's not on the devs. This was a corporate decision 100%. I know when the game came out that they said that that didn't happen, but I just don't believe that. If the devs had it their way, this game would have probably been delayed another 6 months.
Oh, for
For
sure.
them to actually, maybe 6 months to a year, probably they would have delayed it again. Because yeah, that when they delayed it 3 week, back when it was supposed to come out in November, like the 3 week delay
Mm-hmm.
there that people were mad about. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that was a bad sign. But and again, I think if the devs had it their way, they would have delayed it out of this year. But again, the management at the top, the investors, whoever it is, they want to make money. They don't care about making good games. All they care about is making money. So yeah, they said, nope, you got to get this out before Christmas. This is like the biggest release in who knows how many years, and you got to get this out before Christmas, and we just don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, even though the game's a mess, apparently I saw an article, even after all the refunds, the game still sold like 13 million copies or something like that.
Yeah, I talked to Try Courage about that when I was streaming Genshin earlier on the channel. Like that's still, I mean, just doing the math, it's still a lot. It's still $780 million just gross coming in, without any other adjustments from like retail taking their cut, marketing, development costs coming out of
The
that. So that's still a lot of sales. Easily one of the better selling single player games with refunds accounted to ever. So
so yeah, to be honest, the investors, the people who push for the game to come out, probably don't care. They probably like, oh yeah, we made our money. It's fine.
they
Don't
do
really
care
care.
because they're considering
Yeah,
this lawsuit. They obviously do care because
yeah,
the this all these issues are hitting them where they hurt. And
yeah,
you know without going into too far down the rabbit hole of like the legal with investors and all that, the company has a duty to make the investors money. And when
yeah,
the company doesn't make the investors the money that they thought they were going to make, they're going to be upset. And when the stock's plummeting, like it is right now, they're going to be
yeah,
upset. So um, this is like, it's obvious that maybe it wasn't all the investors that were pushing for this to get out there, but I can certainly tell you that the founders and the people at CD Projekt Red were pushing this to get out there because there's just like no way they didn't know that this game was in this state. There's no way they could come out and say, "Oh, we didn't know it was this bad." Like they did. You had to have known. Like you're not stupid. So this is all on the people that are pushing the developers to work extra hard. By the way, they're taking crunch time, probably taking less time off as a result, though they're taking this holiday off because they're not getting an update out until next month. And somebody decided it's just not worth waiting anymore because they have to get the they have to get the game out now to get the money in, and hope that the game coming out increases the stock, which it did. It caused the stock to go down a considerable amount. So this
It
is
it
like
nose it nosedived. The stock took a plummet.
right. And like my sense is, which I could be just 100% wrong. My sense is it wasn't just the investors telling the company, you better get this out by end of year or else. It was probably somebody was worried about not getting the game out before end of year because the investors were this was looming and thinking, okay, well, when's this game actually going to come out? So there was probably a bit of worry there, and it's just it all came crumbling down. I mean, it all came crumbling down is the point.
Yeah, no, I mean it's not one or two people who made the decision. I'm
No,
not.
no, of course,
Yeah,
no.
it's not just the
I was never
investors
alluding to
or
that.
just management, but I guess what I'm trying to say is, I mean, maybe there were people on the dev team that wanted it, but I would probably guess that the people on the dev team knew that this game was not ready to
Oh,
come out and would
absolutely.
have liked another 6 months to a year to
Oh,
actually finish the game.
they'd have to be morons not to have known at this point. I'm just going to play some of the bugs from this video, but you had to have been a moron to not know that this game is completely, you know, just definitely not finished. I mean, this is my most I think this is just like the most famous bug I've seen all the time is this car driving on the road, hitting an obstacle and then falling through the ground and doing this. This is like the big one.
Yep,
And it's just like the,
just
this
collision.
game I was seeing some people like Angry Joe for example talking, well, no, even with all the bugs, this is still a good game. I would actually disagree. If your game is in this state, no matter how strong the narrative is, it doesn't matter when you can't get through the experience. So I would actually argue that this is not a good game because you have a large portion of the population unable to even get the experience of a good game. So at this point in time, I would say this is not a good game. But that's just my opinion based on
No, it's
if you
not.
you
I mean,
can't even play this really without
if you
like
have a
hitting
if you
something
have a
bad.
top of the line PC, this is a good game. Like there are some bugs there, but I think for the most part it's playable on
Right.
top of the line PCs and you can get over it. But if you're playing it on console or a mid-range PC, yeah,
It's
no,
not working. Right.
it's not a good game.
It's not going to
No,
work. And so like
I yeah,
some of the reviewers that have been saying like, "Oh, this is still a good game." I'm just going to disagree. Like this
yeah, same.
in maybe in 3 months when the bugs are fixed, we can call this a good game, but it's not. And if this game
I mean,
gets any consideration for an award next year, uh, it's bullshit. That's complete bullshit. You can't have a game come out like this and think, "Oh yeah, no, this is going to win some award." Like, no, this thing released in a garbage state, you know, it can't realistically win awards for a game that came out this year. I mean, it's like, oh my god, I'm just looking at these bugs and they're terrible. So I was trying to think if there's anything else on Cyberpunk that was worth mentioning.
I mean, I hope there's two ways this. Well, okay, there's three ways this could go right now. Option A, they take their money and run and they just move on to their next project and they just leave it this way,
Right.
basically. Or maybe do a few small patches and get it maybe playable, but
Mm-hmm.
still not good. That's A. Option B, we'll say, is the good option where they go back, not go back to the drawing board, but they go back and they take the next 6 months to a year and they put in all the stuff that they stripped out of the game. They fix all of the bugs with it, and they just put in, yeah, they fix all the systems that are broken. They put in the
Mm-hmm.
systems that they had to strip out, and they fix all the bugs or the majority of them at least. And in 6 months to a year, hopefully the game is great, and all of that is free of charge.
Right.
That's a sort of an apology to the gaming world for this debacle. And option C is they do some patches. Maybe they'll do a couple patches at the beginning of the year, and they stick with it, but they start just adding paid DLC to the game as
Yeah.
well. and they're like, all right, we're gonna add multiplayer because I guess that was on the table. We're gonna add some new story or some new side quests. I don't know what they're planning for DLC, but I'm sure they have plans for DLC.
Right.
So
They do. No, they
that
absolutely
I
do.
guess that's a middle ground, but that still sucks because I don't want to see any paid DLC for this game until this game is good in a playable state,
Yep.
especially on console.
Yeah. Like
Um,
we've gone through 3 minutes of this video, and this is like this just looks like a game I would not want to touch at all. This looks like a
yeah,
game that I would play for about an hour, hit a couple of the bugs, and go, "This isn't worth it anymore. This is not worth a good narrative anymore." Which is my whole
yeah,
point. Is like, I don't care if your game is like the best narrative to ever exist. If you can't get through the narrative without being frustrated, it's not good. It doesn't
yeah. It's
work.
gonna it's gonna it's gonna ruin your
Yeah,
experience
exactly.
basically. So
Yeah.
and
So,
and even
oh, go ahead.
and I've heard that even when the narrative is going, like there are moments where um during the narrative there's bugs going on in the cutscene, like cars flying through, or someone's like, I don't know, something sticking through somebody's head or something like that, and it just takes you out of you're having like a serious conversation, and there's these weird that are not serious bugs, but they sort of break your immersion if there's stuff like that.
Yeah. Like, sorry, I'm responding to Try because he's yeah, AI did crash a lot. AI Somnium Files did crash for
And
people a couple times. I
on
remember. I think for
PC,
you
yeah.
it crashed a couple times.
Yeah, it didn't crash that much. It crashed a couple of
I
times.
see.
But Try and Kuru had warned me, so I saved a lot in this
Yeah,
in the Somniums because of it.
sure. I mean, yeah,
I know
that
Kuru
can
and
be
Try
frustrating.
said it was way worse for them, that it crashed a lot for them. So
Yeah, I mean, it's like yeah for me because I played it on console, I didn't have any issues at all. But I mean, what I was gonna
uh,
say like this AI Somnium Files like I don't know how often it crashed for Try Courage and Kuru, but I don't know. I don't know if it was as bad as this. Like this isn't even game crashing. By the way, Cyberpunk also, if you pick up too many items, if you collect too much, you can corrupt your save file. If you collect too many things in the game, it corrupts your save
I mean,
file. So and CD Project Red, I'm fairly certain just said stop collecting things to fix that. It's like
stop stop picking stuff
just
up.
like stop picking stuff up. I don't know. Like it's really tough. This is worse, and I think as a result, like at least if I was playing this and had this happen, I would just stop.
Yeah, with AI, you can, if you know the issue is happening again, just save a lot in the somniums. If it happens, it happens. Just make sure you load it up. I'm again, my experience with it was fine. It crashed a couple of times, but not that much. Crew and Try again, they said it was pretty bad, but
Mm.
again, you kind of know it's coming. The rest of the game, though, in AI is very solid. It's
It's
not like
very
it's
solid.
everywhere.
Yeah,
It's like very specific places. You kind of know it's might happen, so just you're prepared for it, and you get back in. Yeah, it's annoying, but
it. This is
this
just
is
it's
this
such a
is it's
different beast.
everywhere. And yeah, the console version is completely unplayable apparently. Like they did a separate review on IGN for the console version and gave it like a 4, whereas the PC got a 9, I think, maybe an 8. I don't remember. Um
Yeah, I don't know. It's
no,
so
there's
tough.
no way this could not. Okay, if this game wins Game of the Year next year, because it came out too late, so it
It came
wasn't
out too late.
nominated
Yep.
for this year, so it'll be on next year's. If this game wins game, in fact, if this game is even nominated for Game of the Year next year, I'm gonna be upset
Yeah, it shouldn't
because
be. No, it shouldn't
with
be.
the state that it came out in, I don't care how much they patch it over the next year. No, just
Yeah,
no,
you can't give this any sort of
just no.
consideration for that. It can't. For
Maybe bet yeah, if it's a category like best narrative, which like gameplay doesn't really matter, and you're just considering the narrative, maybe sure, I'll
yeah,
I'll give it that. I'll give it that. But anything gameplay related or game of the year or best direction or like, no, just no, absolutely not.
right. So I don't know. They CD Projekt Red needs to really do something. Their reputation has just taken a complete nosedive. Like
Yeah, they
it's
they
it's
they were up on the
unbelievable.
pet. We talked about it. They were up
Yep.
on the pedestal. They were on the pedestal tier, and they're
They're not.
they're down.
They're
They're
gone.
no. they're definitely off the pedestal. They may even be lower than that.
Can
It's
I be
like,
honest? Can
oof.
I ask you a question? Who's on the pedestal now with CD Projekt gone?
Naughty Dog and Rockstar to me are on the pedestal.
One, sorry, I'm going to respond to Vis too with that. Naughty Dog and yeah, I mean Naughty Dog. I don't think Naughty Dog for sure. Rockstar is on the pedestal. They really are, and I got to say, I know you don't like Rockstar games, but they do make good games
They're
for the
solid.
majority of people.
I don't like GTA.
I loved
Uh,
Red Dead Redemption 2. That was a
yeah,
fun
no. I
game.
mean,
I
I've heard
enjoyed
good.
that.
Yeah,
Okay, so with No Man's Sky, that game, I don't know that year if it got nominated for anything when it came out, but
I don't think it did.
I know that it came back, and the current state of No Man's Sky, from what people have said, Spoon and I haven't played it, is that it's in a great state. And at least to me, it deserves an award like something like comeback game or like a
Yeah,
game that's like
got best ongoing
yeah,
or
best
something like that.
ongoing. That is deserved. If a game like
Yeah,
No Man's Sky comes back and does right by the community and makes good updates to bring the game to a state where it was promised or even better than promised, that's totally fine. If CD Projekt Red in like 6 months fixes all the bugs and stuff, I still don't think it should get does any sort of recognition for Game of the Year because of the state it was in when it came out. And I don't think No Man's Sky did No Man's Sky get any
no.
consideration?
Oh,
Yeah,
people didn't like No Man's Sky when it took like 2 years for No Man's Sky to get
it
fixed.
took a while,
It wasn't.
and the year came
It,
out.
it,
I don't
it
know if
was
it
a
was
long.
recognized
And also,
for any
to be
awards.
fair to No Man's Sky, that was like an indie game.
An indie game that got Sony to latch onto it.
Yeah, it got some backup for sure, but
Yeah, but that was more of an indie game for sure. As Supergiant is the one that made
I
Hades.
don't. I mean, I don't. To answer the question, it doesn't overshadow its current state, but you can't forget it. Like, I know No Man's Sky. Again, I haven't played it either, but I know it's good now, and I know, and people applaud. I don't remember the names of that dev for basically fixing that game. But
Mm-hmm.
when it came out, you can't forget that the game was garbage when
Oh
it
no, you
came
can't.
out.
You can't forget that. It's
You have to see,
impossible to
like,
forget.
hey, this was garbage when it came out, but I'm glad that they buckled up their boots and fixed it because there's a good game. There was a good game under it all, and I think the same for Cyberpunk. You can't forget if they do end up fixing it for free. You just can't forget in the state that it came out
Mm-hmm.
because, as I said, I think there's a great game. From what I've heard, there's a great game under all the nonsense, but there's
Right,
a lot of nonsense to get through.
and that's the fundamental problem. And like you could probably say that to any game that like Fallout 76. I'm not saying Fallout 76 was ever fixed, but Fallout 76 came out as a broken game, and that's what people remember. What people are going to remember with this game, they're going to remember the broken launch. They may not remember it number one compared to everything else about the game, but they're going to remember that. So that's all I think I wanted to point out is this is the type of thing that you can't go into like Game of the Year nominations to go, but Cyberpunk is in a great state now without saying yes, but think about that launch and think about everything that happened up after that launch with all the stuff that we know now about the internal development of that game. That's so tough to overlook. It's just like very difficult
Yeah,
to
and
really get past that.
I wouldn't be surprised that if in a few months we see, I don't know which site will take it, but a lot of, like, with the Anthem one, it was Kotaku. I'm pretty sure if we see like a Kotaku article on
Yeah,
the
it's going to be
inner
Jason
workings
Schreier.
of what happened with
It's yeah,
with Cyberpunk.
it's going to be Jason Schreier. I don't think he's with Kotaku anymore though. I think he's with Bloomberg or something. I forgot who he's with, but it was Jason Schreier last time. We're going to see that. I guarantee we're going to see it in like a month or so. I can't imagine we don't get some kind of article talking about it. In fact, I'm sure it's already in the workings as we speak. So
Yeah.
that's something we're going to see soon.
Also,
Um,
Cyberpunk was just it was. I know No Man's Sky was kind of hyped. People were excited for it, but Cyberpunk again with the hype was the biggest release in a
absolutely,
long time,
absolutely.
and and the disappointment in this game from the hype of it and people saying, "Man, this is going to be the game of the generation, game of all time,
Mm-hmm.
masterpiece," nonsense, and then
And then this. Yeah. Also,
crash and burn.
the Twitter bot finally fired. Nice. Good job, Twitter
Yeah, it's
bot.
been 45 minutes.
God, I hate that thing sometimes. It's so convenient, but it's so late on everything.
Yeah.
Let me just. Okay. Anything else regarding Cyberpunk before we move on? I don't want to say anything more
Nope.
about this game.
I think we've been over it ad nauseum at this point.
Okay. Um. Weeb stand up. We've got Genshin Impact stuff. Try Courage. Get ready. You can take a nap real quick. So the new 1.2 update came out. I actually streamed it earlier. It's a new. Okay. It's going to be weird that I say this, but it's a new region. But at the same time, I think it's still considered part of Mondstadt because when you get to the Statue of Seven there, you can do the
Animo.
Mondstadt, the Animo, yeah,
The
the
Animo.
Animo, Animoculus, I believe it's called.
Yeah,
You
Animoculus.
can pray for the Animoculus stuff. So I think it still counts for Mondstadt, but it's supposed to be a new region. Uh,
It's not a full region. It's
right.
again, it's
It's
additional
it's
piece of Mons. It's kind of between Mondstadt and Liyue,
yeah,
but
it's
yeah,
in between.
sure.
It's a mountain. It's a big mountain,
Big old mountain.
and so there's a couple things that I experienced early on. If you don't mind me talking about that for like a
Yeah,
quick couple minutes.
I haven't had the time to play
Okay,
it yet. So
so
yeah.
yeah, first off, they gave 600 primo gems for the downtime maintenance, and also I think they fixed some characters, so they gave a ton of primo gems, which is awesome. And the big mechanic as a part of this mountain is that if you are in the snow too long, if you're in the cold for too long and not near a fire, you take on stacks of, we're just going to call it freezing stacks. If you take enough freezing stacks and this bar fills up all the way without going back to a fire and reducing them, you end up taking persistent damage over time. So basically, if you stay too far, if you stay in the cold too long without going near heat, you could actually die. Your character will die. It can be a little bit annoying when you're trying to climb, for example. If you try and climb on the
Yeah.
mountain, it's actually super frustrating. I'm sure at some point within the story they're going to give you some way to mitigate this and like to get an item or something.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen in some of the pre-patch stuff there's a craftable, like an alchemy item that you can craft
Yeah,
that, will
I think it's in
protect
the
you from it.
story. Yeah, because I'm
Yeah.
getting to that point. So the new character Albedo is
Is it
your
albedo? I didn't know it was albedo or albedo.
I don't whichever one it is.
Yeah.
The character is like your this is the person that's in doing the quest. You talk to this person for most of it. Sucrose is the starter of the quest, but you talk to this person, and then there's like a villain character named Rosaria, who
Has a great personality.
yeah, great personality, and she's like yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. Like you can tell she's the villain immediately, and she I've gotten to the point where she pretty much like wants to do something about you and Albedo or Albedo, however you pronounce it. So it's like it's clear that she's going to be the villain character of this arc, and I don't know. Like so far, it's a lot of like crafting, fetch questing, boring stuff. But the region itself, I do like the snow region. I dislike the ice mechanic when in regards to climbing, but I like the region itself. I think the region is very cool, very beautiful. The snowy regions are great. So there were a couple other things that were added in the update. For example, my now all-time favorite addition is the auto-scrolling text. You can turn on and off
Oh yeah,
the
auto mode,
the autoplay.
auto advanced text is nice.
Beautiful
Now we
update.
just need to be able to skip cutscenes if we want
Exactly.
to.
Beautiful update.
Like,
Also, something small I noticed. I play this game on controller. I think you do. I think you do as well.
yeah.
Um, the game now just automatically recognizes my controller every time I boot it up.
Oh, thank God. That's so annoying.
I think they added that.
Go into the menu every time and swap it to controller.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
just recognizes your controller and says, "Okay, you must be on controller." Because I when I started the stream, I left my controller out for a bit. I didn't change the settings at all, and it just automatically recognized the controller. And I swear I was thinking in that moment, Thank you. Thank you so much.
We like these nice simple QOL
Absolutely.
changes sometimes.
I did do one pull on this banner and I got Sucrose. That was my only pull for the banner
Oh,
because I got Sucrose.
you wanted Sucrose.
I wanted Sucrose and I got her, so I'm not going to do any more on the banner. But the banner is Sucrose, Albedo, and then
Fischl.
Bennett and Fischl.
Bennett and Fischl,
Yeah,
yeah.
Bennett Fischl. So it's a good banner if you want Fischl. I think this is a great banner for Fischl.
Yeah,
Like
Fischl's back.
this is a good
I'm
banner.
thinking about doing maybe. Man, I really want to save for Ganyu, so maybe I won't. But I would like
I'm
to have
yeah.
my. I have C5 Fischl. I would like to get C6 Fischl, but
I think that would be
yeah.
really good. I want to say something about Albedo, the trial of him. I don't understand his normal ability, why the flower goes up in the air and you can stand on it. I don't understand it. Like I don't get it. Like what does that do for your for this guy? I don't get it.
You can do a plunge attack.
Oh, is that
I
it?
don't know.
Is that I
I
don't
haven't
know. Is
played.
that like
No,
it? I don't get it.
I don't know. I haven't seen enough of the character. I don't really know
Like
what he does.
in the trial, his ult seems like just like a pretty good
Like
yeah, it's a pretty
AOE
good AoE
damage
against
or something.
mobs, but his like basic ability, like if you step on this flower, it lifts you up. I don't get it. Is that like you use it and then and then you just like get an archer out? I don't get it. I didn't get it. But I don't know. I don't like him. I'm just gonna say I don't like him. When I tried him, I just didn't like him at all. I'm trying to see if there's anything else in here. I don't know if there's going to be another boss character. It seemed like there was like an arena for a boss character, so that's something to think about. Also, they do talk about here. We have something for Gon Yu, the 5-star character, at some point for the next banner. So, looks to see it will appear in a
Did
subsequent
you
event.
you know you should have been able to pick up a bunch of acquaint fates also from upgrading characters.
I actually didn't see where that was. I will take a look next time I play.
If you go into the I did log in last night and I just did that.
Okay.
Basically, if you go into the character menu at the bottom, I think it's like left or right on the D-pad,
Okay.
will open up the thing where you can pick up your acquaint fates for upgrading characters.
Okay, I'll
So
have to. I think I saw it. Yeah, I'll have to take a
you get an
look.
acquaint fate now every time you ascend a character at 20, 50, and
Right,
70. Um,
which is great for me because
so
I have
yeah,
tons of those.
I had I had 28 acquaint fates after I did all that. I had some extra ones left over from other stuff that I
Sure,
did
but
that
you had
I just
28.
did.
Oh my
I had
goodness.
28. Yeah. I mean, I
But that's
upgraded
normal
every
banner.
single I upgraded every single one of my characters to at least 20
Sure.
just because I knew that it was going to be a thing.
Yeah, sure. That makes
Um,
sense.
I got like doo doo from my 3 pulls that I did.
It is what it is.
But
But yeah.
and I actually looked back at the normal banner and I didn't know this. I figured the characters would the bonus characters from the banners would go onto the normal banner eventually. Yeah, they're not.
Yeah, they don't.
The only 5-star characters you can pull are Diluc, Mona, Chi-Chi, Kaching, and Jean
Yeah, no, those
on the
the
standard
banner
banner.
characters, you can't get them. They'll probably come back at some point, but you can't get them anymore. That's why they're so
Yeah,
valuable. That's why people
that's
like go
stupid.
crazy.
That's completely stupid.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
it's the
I mean,
only
I
reason.
know I know it's how it works in gotchas, and they want you
Hmm.
to wail on the banners that you like, but that's really dumb.
Oh no, it is. It's
I
stupid.
think you should be. I think after the banner expires, that character should go on to the standard banner, and you should at least have a chance of pulling
Yep.
them on the standard banner.
Oh no, it is stupid, but I mean, we all know why they do that. But it's stupid. It's very stupid.
Like right now, if you don't have any of the previous characters, which would be Venti, Klee, Child, or Big Dong
Big
Zhang,
Dong Zhang. Yep.
you just can't get them.
Yep.
You can't get them right now.
Yep. It's just yep. It's again. I think we both agree it's stupid, but yeah,
It's
it
gotcha.
is.
That's how it works.
That's how it works in this game. So
They want you to wail when the banner comes out to get at least one, or then you
yep.
have people who wail even harder for the C6 or whatever.
I'm
So
trying to
yeah,
see if there's looks like there's some new artifacts, new weapons. I'm just seeing if there's
yeah.
anything else. Um, looks like there's some like there's a new event, new quests, new commission quests. So that's interesting. New monsters. So I did see some of the new monsters that were here. I'm assuming new dishes and food and stuff like that. There was a lot of new stuff for this, and
Yeah, I mean
Spiral Abyss got some things
they're
added to it.
their major content updates, at least so far, there's been two, have seen pretty substantial. Like they add a decent amount of stuff on
Mm-hmm.
the major patches. So,
Trying to see
it's cool to
character.
see.
Okay. So anyway, I just wanted to say that hopefully I'll be playing this game either on my personal stream or on this channel through the update, because there's quite a bit to get through. So I'll swing it over to you. Any other stuff regarding the update, or should we hold off until next episode of
Yeah,
the podcast
I
when we
have,
get
and I
more?
haven't gotten to play it yet. I was planning on playing it today, but yeah, I ended up doing some other stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll get to it. I'm now that I'm done with 13 Sentinels, I have a few other things that I'm like kind of playing on the side, but I don't have like a quote unquote main game right now. So maybe I'll get back into Genshin for a bit and actually catch up on the quests that I didn't do from
Yeah,
before.
there's quite a few, I'm sure, that you
Yeah,
have.
no. Well, I have the main line, the last Leeway main quest, and
Mm-hmm.
then the both the child and the Zhongli's side
Yep.
quests, and then all the new stuff, obviously, that they just
Yeah,
added,
they just yeah, a bunch of
yesterday.
stuff there.
So I've got a decent amount to catch up on in Genshin, but maybe I can do it in the next week or so. We'll see.
Perhaps. Yeah, perhaps. So, okay, let's move on then. We had all the Game Awards announcements. Perhaps we don't talk about all of them because obviously there are a lot. Do you have any that you recall that you want to just quickly touch on? Um, the link that I have, by the way, is still in our doc for the episode. I can start off with Back for Blood because I did actually get to play it. So would it be all right if I started with that and then you look through and you kind of
No,
pick out some of the ones?
go ahead.
Okay, so got to play Back for Blood with the fellas last week, and also apparently spawned a new meme because I posted about the we were talking about Destiny, and I said, okay, I'm good for the morning, but I want to make time for Back for Blood, and apparently I spawned a meme from that. So good stuff. But the game itself, Back for Blood, I think it has lots of potential. It's the way that it is very much like Left 4 Dead, but the systems in the game are meant to be expanded on with like future patches, such as all the characters have a couple unique abilities and they all have a starting weapon that's unique to them. This weapon can be picked up obviously in when you're in the in the actual campaign map, but I but I will say like all the characters do feel pretty unique. Yeah, see there it is. I need to make time for Back for Blood. See that's it. They have like a card system in the game. You create a deck for whatever you want to do. So if you want to do a melee build, you can create a deck of cards for that. And there's different categories for cards. So once you pick all your cards that you want to have, you draw those cards once you start your game. There was only PvE in this particular closed alpha, which I think is fine because they're the difficulty in the closed alpha. This game is difficult. You have to really coordinate on higher difficulties to complete maps fully. These there's a couple special zombies that are really tough that I think probably need to be toned down a little bit. I'm looking at the Bruiser in particular. There's like one zombie that's just way too overpowered in my opinion. But this is a tough game, and I feel like you have to really coordinate your card decks as well as your strategies and tactics before you jump into each map. And the enemies, like the zombie enemies themselves, get cards too. There's like cards that show at the very beginning when you start which zombies you may encounter. There's only one map to play, but I think like if they expand more on the card system, if they add some more characters on release, this game could be very fun. And it feels good. Like it does feel like a better Left 4 Dead game because you can aim down sights now. You can put attachments on your guns that make the guns just way better. There's lots of different attachments you can add. This feels like a good game. I think it comes out June 21st or 2nd. I'm excited for it. I hope there's like another like beta or something that we can play. This was really fun to play with a group. So that's all I wanted to say about Back for Blood. Were there any other games in here, Spoon? That you
I
or
mean, we
stuff?
don't know about a lot of these. The Sephiroth announcement for Smash was pretty hype. Since you're on
Sure.
that, we don't really play Smash, but I think it was a cool, a cool character to see. Yeah, I know a lot of people were hyped about it, so good to see that. Um, there was a little bit on Nier, which that's coming out. That'll be cool.
Yeah,
It seems
near.
like
I saw
they're
that. It was hot pure near replicant.
Near Replicant. It looks like they're apparently. So from what I heard, the first Near, people didn't really like the gameplay. So it seems like it looks like they're changing the gameplay to be more like Near Automata, which people did like.
Yep.
So yeah, that'll probably be good. Because Near Replicant, I believe, is a remake of the original Near.
Okay.
Um, there was the Perfect Dark announcement, which was it was just a teaser trailer, so there's really not much to say about that. They're making a new Perfect Dark
Yep.
game.
Oh,
We'll
what
see
was?
what it is.
Can I ask what was that one game that had the worst frame rate of anything we've ever seen?
Oh man.
What was it called?
Yeah, keep scrolling.
Yeah, it was bad. New look at Dragon Age 4. Yeah, there wasn't enough for me to really say anything about that.
They didn't really show anything. Again, it was kind of a teaser trailer, so hard to say.
Yeah, Endless Dungeon. That was a roguelike for who made that? Who made Endless Dungeon?
Amplitude,
Amplitude.
which is
Oh,
the
it was
developer of
Crimson. It was Crimson Desert.
Crimson Desert. Yeah, that's the one.
It was this one. Oh, this was bad. Why am I getting a Stadia ad? So, yeah, Crimson Desert. Can I say with confidence this was the worst trailer I have seen?
God, it was so long
It
too.
was
It was like
5 minutes long, and
5 minutes.
it had some of the worst frame rate issues I've seen in a trailer.
If if you hate motion blur and bad frame rate in games, yeah, don't play this because
I'm gonna
holy
put this
moly.
in theater mode real quick so we can see. Actually, let me make it full screen. This was terrible. The frame rate on this game was like it's just like when he actually got into combat, it was terrible. Yeah, this was like, oh, there it is. Okay, so now he's in combat. Yeah, this is like, yeah, this was. Oh god, yeah, the motion blur was really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Oh,
there it is. There are my frames.
it's not quite as bad as I remember, to be honest, but it's not good.
It was pretty bad. Okay, so there was that one. Um, Warhammer 40,000 Dark Tide. That's a Left 4 Dead clone.
Yep. In the Warhammer
Let's
universe,
see here.
there
Like I
was
said,
Arc 2.
yeah,
Which
Vin Diesel. Where was that Vin Diesel? Yeah, this was great until someone told me that Vin Diesel wasn't actually going to be the prominent character, and I was very angry.
and he was just in the trailer.
All I wanted was for this to not be called Arc 2 but Fast and the Furious BC era, and have
Yeah.
Vin Diesel race on a dinosaur against somebody. But yeah, Arc 2 was announced and an animated series, which by the way, the animated series trailer looked really good. I was like, "What is this? This looks
And
great."
it had like Russell Crowe, and I don't
Yeah,
remember,
it
there were
had
a
a
bunch of
ton
like
of big
big name
actors.
actors.
It's like, "What?"
The trailer really didn't look that good to me, for the game, but
For the game, no.
the animated series did.
The animated series looked great, and there was tons of like, yeah, like high quality actors in it that were voicing roles. I was like, what is this? This actually looks really good. What is this? But yeah, the Vin Diesel, I was so disappointed and it wasn't just like Fast and Furious BC age or something like that.
Yeah.
Fall Guys season 3 trailer. I mean, cool. Uh, let's see. Evil Dead the game. Oh yeah, this was a Left 4 Dead clone too, right?
Pretty much, I think.
Yeah. Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection. Little remake there. I don't know what Returnal is. Super
I
Meat
think that was like
Boy.
that sci-fi game.
Oh, was it? Okay. Elder Scrolls Online Gates of Oblivion announced. I must have missed that. A
No, it
teaser for the
was.
next expansion for Elder Scrolls Online called Gates of Oblivion was
Yeah,
shown.
they're just redoing Oblivion. That's
Oh,
cool.
okay. They're just okay. Cool. Yeah, I was gone. Monster Hunter Rise and demo it was announced. Okay, I must have missed that
Yep.
too.
Monster Hunter.
Yep.
I know.
Very
I
cool.
know. I know. Ruffles hype for that.
Wait, Vis just said ESO dance game. Vis, you played ESO. Why are you dance gaming that? You play Vis played ESO and was a Khajiit. He was a cat person. He was a Khajiit. That's
This
all I
is a furry.
remember. You made a
This,
mistake. You sure did.
this is
That
a
was
furry.
that was hilarious, by the way. That was so funny when Vis had a Khajiit in the game, and when I saw that, I couldn't stop laughing. That was great. Um, oh, this was the Weeb game. This was the Xbox
Yep.
Weeb game, Scarlet
Yeah.
Nexus
Scarlet Nexus.
action RPG, and this wasn't this exclusive to Xbox?
I don't think it is. I don't think it's exclusive. I think Xbox must have some sort of marketing deal, but so they're showing like Xbox as the primary console, but I
Hmm.
don't think it's exclusive.
Okay,
No, yeah, it's not.
I was
It's
about
not
to say, I was
exclusive.
like, man, really? That's I would have been
Yeah,
super
putting a
surprised.
JRPG, even though it's an action RPG exclusive to Xbox, that's a bold move. God, they tried it before and it did not
Yeah,
work.
that did
So,
not work.
yeah, no, Xbox, everything, yeah, not Switch, but Xbox, One, Xbox X, PS4, PS5, PC.
Okay,
Yeah,
so yeah, yeah.
everything.
I don't know what Ruined King is. The turn-based RPG set in the league. Wait, it's a turn-based RPG set in the League of Legends universe. Oh boy. Okay,
We'll see.
I don't know. Okay, Mass Effect gets a teaser trailer. Oh yeah, I saw this teaser
Yeah,
trailer.
they got a teaser.
Okay.
They're
I
they're making another Mass Effect
I
game.
have I have
Hopefully, they
no
don't
faith
ruin
in
it.
your studio, so cool. I have all the faith in the world that they'll screw it up. So that's what I think. But I hope they don't screw it up. So I'm just like
Yeah,
I'm cautiously optimistic with Dragon Age and with Mass Effect. I'm too cautiously optimistic about it. I'm like, okay,
yeah, no,
please be
those
good.
games. BioWare has. I've lost faith in them. Basically, I will probably not pre-order either of those games, and I'll just have to wait and see if they come out and they're actually good.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm just cautious about it. So anyway, okay, my browser. There you go.
can we just have a remake of Origins?
Yeah, I'd sign on for that. I'd immediately sign on
I
for
think
that. I
a
would
lot of people would
pre-order that faster than anyone. I'd just be like immediate pre-order. If they upgraded the graphics of that game and kept everything else the same, I'm in. Just do it. I'll pay 60 for that. I don't care. Okay. So, yeah, any other like announcements that we wanted to show a little bit more or talk about? Oh yeah, we forgot to mention like Among Us got a new map. They actually put Master Chief into Fortnite. That was kind of interesting. Um, what else did they? What else was there that I was like thinking about? Only thing I thought of was there was a lot of Left 4 Dead clones.
Yeah, no,
Um,
there were. It felt like every other announcement was a Left 4 Dead clone.
yeah. Anyway, let's move away from this new screen and let's go back to our two cam screen real quick. So let me move this over here so I can see better. Okay, so that was all the news. We kind of quickly went through all the Game Awards announcements. So at this point, do we want to talk a bit about some of the stuff we've been playing? I talked about Back for Blood already and a little bit about Genshin as a result of that being part of our game news. Did you want to talk about some of the other stuff that you had on this? Like, for example, you had Humankind on here.
Yeah, let me. I'll start with 13 Sentinels. Just
Okay,
touch on it again real quick. I know
sure.
I kind of talked about it a lot last week, so I won't go in depth on it, and I can't without spoiling the whole damn game. But I finished 13 Sentinels on Monday.
Okay,
It took me about 38 hours to finish the game,
okay,
which is
that's decent sized game.
yeah, it's not short. Um, I would guess most people would finish it between 30 and 40, depending. I tend to be on the long side. I tend to be pretty thorough.
Okay,
So, I think I saw like in Ko's playthrough, he did it in like 33, so he's about five
okay,
hours faster than me.
okay,
Um, but I just kind of want to signal boost the game because I think it's really cool. I think it's I know I've talked about it a lot I just want people to give it a shot, check it out. It may not, it's not for everybody. It's you know, it's got an anime art style. It's got, the main characters are all high schoolers, and there's a little bit of that Japanese high school drama stuff
Yeah,
that
of
is
course,
woven into the story, but
of
that is
course.
not not the focus of it. Um, but yeah, if you like games that have very complex stories with a lot of mystery and they kind of give it to you piecemeal
Hmm.
over it. You kind of like putting the plot together. Games like AI, the Somnium Files, and from what I've heard, like 999, the Nonary games, those
Hmm.
games. Then I think you'll like it. The art style is really cool. The ending was really good. The game just kind of keeps you guessing the whole time. They'll like reveal one thing and then down the line you'll get another thing that has you thinking a completely different route and it's I don't know. I find it fun to try and piece together stories like that. And I think the way it's presented is really cool and that you can kind of pick it's not 100% your choice because there are certain blocks on how far you can go, but for a lot of the game, you can kind of pick which characters you want to play as and what order you do things in until you hit one of those roadblocks, and then you'll have to do a certain thing with a certain
Hmm.
character or get a certain through a certain number of battles in the battle mode
Hmm.
um, before you can go. And the game also has it just has like a codex that you can read through at any time, and when you get through another segment of the story it'll just add new stuff to the codex. So if maybe you didn't fully understand the cutscene you just watched, you can go into the codex and just it'll show you, like it'll highlight the entries that were updated so you can go to
Sure.
the entries that was updated, like, all right, explain that to me.
Sure.
So I think the game does a really good job of, even though it's a very complex story, it does a good job of presenting it slowly enough and just like piecemeal enough and with the codex that you can that it's manageable.
Okay.
Um and yeah, I the combat, the sort of tactical combat is it's fine. I don't love it. It's pretty easy for the most part
Hmm.
and yeah, it serves its purpose. I kind of wish there were fewer battles. It felt like there were kind of too many, and some of them were just draggy, and
Sure.
none of them are that long. But it just there were times where I had to blitz like 4, 5, 6 battles in a row. I was like, okay, this is a little bit annoying. But yeah, the game is amazing, and I would just like people to check it out, give it a shot. Again, it's definitely not for everybody, but sounds interesting to you, give it a look. It's called 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim. It's exclusive to the PS4. Um, it was on sale for like Black Friday, but I don't think it is right now. But I
Sure.
I got it for $40. I would have gladly paid $60 for it, but if you want to wait for a sale, that's fair.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I would easily give it a 9. It's easy 9 out of 10. I don't think I would give it a 10 just because I again the gameplay to me is kind of it's fine. It's there, but it's not amazing.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And humankind.
Yeah, Humankind has a another open dev scenario going on right now. It started last week sometime and it's open until the end of this week. I want to say Sunday or maybe Monday is the last day.
Okay.
Um and they have given us a you can play through the you start at the very beginning of the game in the Neolithic era where you're kind of a roaming tribe and you can go through the first 4 eras full eras of the game. So after Neolithic, that's ancient, classical, medieval, and then they call it early modern, but in Civ I think it's called Renaissance.
Okay.
um, and yeah, I mean, I've talked about it before, but I like a lot of the things they're doing with this game in that's different from Civilization. Obviously, it's similar to Civilization in some ways in that it's, a historical strategy game where you play through the history of mankind and, you know, research texts and build cities and go to war and all these kinds of things.
Sure.
But um, what? So yeah, for those who haven't heard about it, basically every era you get to pick a culture from 10, which are all real historical cultures that existed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and all the cultures they have a unique just like bonus passive power basically that they just get. They have a unique unit and they have a unique district
Okay.
that you can build. The bonus, the power, the passive that lasts through the whole game. You keep that
Okay.
even when you advance to the next culture in the next era. So you keep that. You keep the unique unit as well if you want, but again, units as the games go on, they become
They
outdated.
become
So
outdated for sure.
the early game units are just not going to be useful
Right.
later in the game. And the district you can only build while you are that culture. You can't, if you choose a new culture at the next era, you can't build the unique district for
Okay.
the previous culture anymore.
Okay.
Um, and they also have the score system is called Fame, which is the sole victory condition. It's not like Civ where there's science victory and culture victory and domination victory and et cetera, et cetera. There's one score system called Fame that accrues over the game for doing certain things, like most things, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And that's whoever has the most fame at the end of the game wins.
Okay.
Um, so it's a single victory condition. Um, and yeah, you accrue fame by some most basic things are just building a lot of stuff or researching techs or killing units, or there's like 7 categories of things you can earn fame for, which are also how you earn era stars, which is how you advance to the next era. You need 7 era stars to advance to the next era.
Mm-hmm.
And the categories are expansion, so that's owning territories that are attached to your cities. Military, which is just killing units. Building, which is building districts, which is districts attached to your cities. It's kind of similar to districts in Civ 6, but also different. If you've
Mm-hmm.
played Endless Legend, you would know what it's like. I guess I can explain that more. Science, which is researching techs. Um, Money, which is just earning a certain amount of money. Influence, which is earning a certain amount of influence. And then food, which is just growing your population. Um, So yeah, there you gain era stars in these. You can gain up to 3 era stars in each of those 7 categories.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and once you get 7, you're allowed to advance to the next era.
Okay.
So, and then you also get fame for things like discovering natural wonders and you know being the first to research certain texts like writing or something like that, or you know building world wonders. Um, it's kind of hard to dive into all the specifics of the game because it's a 4X and it's very complex.
Mm-hmm.
But I think one of the coolest things that I like about the game so far is like choosing your cultures and evolving your civ over time. So the game that I played, I started with the Egyptians, which are a builder culture, which to me again makes sense for for early game. It's like, hey, you want to build up your stuff.
Sure.
And I think um and then what happened is I was going along building up my cities. I kind of got there were 3 AI. I was kind of in the middle of the continent, and there were 3 AIs that were all kind of around me.
Oh
So I
yeah,
was
you
kind
got
of getting
boxed in.
boxed. I was
Yeah,
kind of
you
getting
got boxed
boxed
in.
in. So I was like, okay. And I got to the next era, the classical era, and I'm like, I want some more space, so I'm gonna go kill somebody. So I picked the Huns, which are obviously a militaristic civ,
Sure.
and I just like ran a couple of people over with their crazy nomad horse archers, which are just busted, god busted garbage.
Right.
The Huns' unique unit is a ranged cavalry. It only has one range, so you have to be next to the enemy to attack them.
Mm-hmm.
But they attack twice. You can attack twice with them,
Okay.
and when you either kill units or ransack like either um, outposts or like the resource deposits. You can like ransack them for gold, and but they earn food from either killing units or ransacking, which gives you another unit
Oh
when
my
you earn
goodness.
enough food. So you can like build one horse or
Yeah.
one Hunnic nomad, go in, kill some units, and ransack some stuff. And then you can have an army of four, and then split that army of four into, four different single units or
Oh
two
my
twos, and then
goodness.
build up to armies of four. You could just get infinite freaking horse archers.
Yeah.
It's busted. The balance in this game right now is nonsense. There is no balance. It's ridiculous.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they're still figuring stuff out.
They're
So,
still early on. I think the build is still considered pre-alpha. It feels like they're still implementing a lot of things, and so the balance is way off. That's one thing I can say from playing this is,
right.
yeah, and even some of like the era stars, like the expansionist ones seem really hard to get. It just seems like you need too many territories to get them, because
Mm-hmm.
obviously when you expand you take a like a hat, it's called stability in this one, and it's per city. But when you expand, if you can only build a certain number of cities. I mean, you can build more cities, but you have this resource called administrators, and if you don't have an administrator, then the city grows slower and it has less stability.
Right.
So if you expand that way, you have trouble with that. But if and it, you can also expand by attaching territories to your cities. So you make a bigger city, basically. You have a city and then you expand to another territory, and then you can just attach the two territories to make your city bigger. But then that city also takes a stability hit. So if you want to get the expansionist stars, I feel like you just have crap stability.
I see.
So again, some of the balance seems off in terms of both the cultures and the strength of the cultures, and then the earning the stars, the numbers seem off. And in my game, I just ended up snowballing out of control, where I was earning thousands of influence and thousands of gold a turn. I had researched all the techs up through the fourth era, which was as far as you could get,
Okay.
and I had a few of my cities. Food seems very snowbally as well. Like the more population in your city, the faster your city grows. And yeah, it just seemed off. Like all my cities were gaining a population literally every single turn,
Yeah,
and
that seems.
it got, again, the balance is really off
Yeah, that
in
doesn't
the
seem right at all.
in the open dev. It's not there. It's not there yet with the
Mm-hmm.
balance. Um, and yeah, so some of the cultures seem really really good. Um, and others, like early on, it just like I feel like you want to start with either a builder culture or a food culture, just so you can like get going and get building. It feels like the early game expansionist cultures and military cultures. I just like don't know why you would go for that early in the game. It just doesn't make sense to
Mm.
me. But so they definitely need to work on the balance of the game. But yeah, I mean, I think it's really cool. If you're into Civ or 4X games in general, give it a look. In order to get access to the open dev, you have to pre-order the game, or you can actually get it from Twitch drops if you watch certain streamers who are playing it. I think you have to watch like 3 hours or something like that.
Oh, I
But
see. Okay, so you could just sit in a stream and just watch for a bit.
um, so yeah, I mean, I think it's cool. I think it's worth checking out. I have the game pre-ordered. I'm excited for it. Amplitude's I love like Endless Space. Endless Legend didn't really do it for me, but I really like Endless
And
Space. And I
is there a release date for this game?
oh yeah, it's in April. I think it's April. I want to say 20 something. I don't remember exactly. It's like mid to late April.
Okay,
Um,
but of this coming year.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
2021.
So it's okay. So they're in
4
pre.
months.
So
About 4 months
so
away.
this is pre-alpha. I guess I would figure
That
this would be
build that
alpha.
build
Oh, that build was
specifically
pre-alpha. Okay, so that build
was
was pre-alpha.
pre-alpha, because like pre-alpha would be the game is you basically can't get to the end of the game, which you
Yeah,
can't in that particular build. You can't, because they cut you off at the fourth era,
sure, that
and
makes sense.
there are six eras.
I got
So
so they cut you off after mid game. Okay, so they cut you off after mid game. Okay, so in mid April this game will come out. and maybe at some point we'll all sort of take a look and we can do something with it. I know Tri Courage played Civ quite a bit, so we might be able to put something together for that, assuming we have enough interested
Yeah.
people. So that
We'll
that would be
see.
interesting.
I would guess that either this is the last open dev, or maybe they will do one more
Okay.
where we get a full game,
Okay.
which maybe I don't know for sure. They haven't said.
That
So
sounds like a
that,
closed beta. Like it's just like, okay, here's the, or like a beta. Here's the game. Just you get like a couple days or a week play. See what
yeah.
happens.
Well, the thing with this, like this, and all the open devs they've done so far is they're very tailored scenarios. So like with this one, for example, yes, it's the first four eras of a game,
Mm-hmm.
but the map is exactly the same every time, and you start in the exact same spot every time. So it's not
Yeah.
like playing a different game of Civ where, hey, the map is procedurally generated and you're gonna start in a different spot.
Sure.
No, it's like you start in the exact same spot every time
Sure.
in this particular open dev. And I mean, maybe if they did another one where it's a full game, they would either do that again, or maybe they'd give us a few options. We'll
Hopefully there
see.
would be
I don't know.
options. It would be nice if it
I'm
was
just
options.
speculating.
It would be nice if it
Yeah,
was options.
it would be nice, but
We'll see. Definitely, we'll
we'll
see.
see.
It sounds. I mean,
Yeah,
it sounds like if you like Civ, you'll probably like this game. It's just like
yeah,
if I may piece that together.
probably,
Okay,
probably. But I mean, I it depends on the person. You know, there are some people who really like Civ 5 but hate Civ 6.
that's true.
Apparently, that there are people who like Amplitude's games but they don't like Civ, or there's people that like Civ but they don't like Humankind. So it really depends on the person. But I think generally, if you like Civilization,
You might
I
like
would
this.
recommend you might like it.
Okay,
Give it a look. It's a little bit of a different take, but
sure.
I think it's cool. I
Okay.
like it. Again, the balance is just nonsense in the open dev. It's
Yeah, but
garbage,
you
but
can't expect that with a game of this
it's not ready.
facility.
It's not ready yet.
Yeah, you can't
They're
expect that.
again, they're still implementing things into the game. I don't think they've gotten to the balance phase really yet
Sure.
of making sure all the numbers work.
Civ has no balance. Yeah, Civ has balance issues
Yeah,
as well.
that's true.
Civ has balance issues as
Civ's
well.
balance is also
It's all over the
nonsense,
place.
but
But yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, when in April, if it comes out in April, assuming no delays happen, then yeah, maybe we can get a group together and just like try it out for a couple streams.
yeah. Yeah,
But
or
yeah,
maybe their balance is just going to be everything is
just
overpowered, and
everything
so
is powerful. Everything is
everything's
powerful.
OP, so it's balanced. There
Everything's
you
OP,
go.
so who cares? It's balanced. Um, okay, cool. So like I said, I mean, like I already talked about the games that I played, which are Back for Blood and Genshin. I mean, I still like mess around with Destiny, of course, but right now, like I'm still playing through AC Valhalla. I'm not gonna finish that this week. I don't see it. It's not possible. It's just not possible for me to
Too
finish it
long.
this week. It is. I think it's gonna be like Brea was mentioning it. She's like 50 hours in, and it's like I think this is honestly gonna be. I said before. I think I said it's gonna be a 50, 60 hour game. It might be 70 to 80 now that I'm thinking about it, because you're just like you are grinding out your skill level so much that I really do think it's going to be longer. It's going to be like I'm 35 hours into the game and it feels like I just hit halfway. It feels like I just hit the halfway point. For those who have actually played, I know Brea played, but anybody else who happened to come across this, I just got to the part where uh, you killed Ivar. You basically killed Ivar. Ivar, he challenges you to a duel, and I killed him. So that's what I got to. Uh, I do want to finish it. No, I love the game. I do love this game. It is fun, but it's long. Oh, you just got to the wedding part? Holy moly! Okay, that's like I'm further than that. The game is really fun. I love the combat of this game. It's definitely fun. It's just it's a long game. It's going to take me a while to get through. That's all I was going to say for that. So I so yeah. So we talked about, your games and some of mine. We've got holidays coming up here, of course, with Christmas for those who celebrate it, and any other holidays I'm sure that are currently in progress or coming up. Are there is there what are you doing? You said you weren't doing anything for Christmas because you
I mean,
alluded to possibly streaming, but like, what are you actually doing?
I mean, we're just like having kind of a nice dinner for the four of us, like the family. Dad wanted Thanksgiving round two, so we're basically gonna have Thanksgiving dinner again,
You
but
know
just the
what?
four of us.
Thanksgiving
Like,
sounds great. Thanksgiving dinner
yeah,
sounds great. We're doing almost a similar thing. We're doing ham, turkey, and a couple other dishes along with that. It sounds like Thanksgiving again. We love
yeah,
this stuff.
yeah. We're basically doing Thanksgiving round two on Friday for dinner, but just the four of us. We're not having, and we had a couple of people over for actual Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
just like family, couple close friends, but um, yeah, and then we're going to the desert, as I said,
Yeah.
next week. Next Friday, we'll be gone for a week.
We'll be gone for a week. So let me pose this actually to our couple people in here. Who should I bring for the
Yeah.
podcast that week? Who
Who
should I bring?
in 2 weeks? Who wants
In
to? Who
two
wants
weeks,
to?
who should I bring, or does anybody want to join me? Who should I bring though? Or what should we I feel like if I bring somebody else that isn't currently in chat, we should get somebody who's like, you know, like we should get something a little bit different in here. We should get a different perspective. Um like, and not like, I don't mean like, oh, we should get like a woman in here. I'm saying like an actual like genuine different perspective from anything we've talked about. Try Courage is always in, okay? Try is obviously a good option.
We know that.
Kate would
Oh,
never do it. Kay would immediately say no. She would immediately say no. She has a good perspective though. Her story is great. Um, her story of like she, coming from Taiwan to America is it's a good story. My mom also has a great perspective, but I don't think I don't think it would be a good idea, but I think she would be great. I think she would
yeah. I
have a
mean,
great perspective.
it's yeah. I I guess yeah. It wouldn't be a gaming podcast
It
if you
wouldn't be.
there's yeah in those cases,
But my
which I
mom
guess it's
is,
fine.
my mom is going through law school, and she had a class with, and there was, they had a speaker, Discord. One of Discord's people came in as a speaker, and she overheard that little thing with Discord and all this stuff. A lot of her cases actually that she's gone through are gaming cases. Like she had like some point where she was looking at the Epic Games Apple Store case, that Apple case
Hmm.
with the Fortnite stuff. So I mean, good perspectives, but seriously though, Try Courage is always in. But like, who should I bring? I need to know. I need to find somebody to bring here. I want to bring somebody in here that's like a completely different perspective. So that'll be something that maybe people can chip in on. I
Yeah,
also want to
we
know, um, just
we
want to.
obviously don't want it
Oh, go
for
ahead.
yeah. We don't want to force someone to come on
Yeah,
either.
no,
Obviously,
sure.
if you're not comfortable with it or you don't want to, then yeah, we're not gonna
Blue's a
force
good one.
anybody to come on. But if you are interested in joining Otto for that
Just
week
say so.
to replace me, please you can say it in maybe here in chat or in the Discord, or if you want to DM Otto, I'm sure he's okay with
You
that
can you
too.
can send me a
Um,
message. I will listen. I'm open to anybody joining in. I don't really care. We'll like actually tailor the episode around the person that I bring in. And we'll
I'm
we'll
ir-
also we'll make sure that it's going to be like definitely a nice little episode.
yeah. Well, thank you, Brea, but
Spoon's
I,
irreplaceable.
I don't think
Irreplaceable.
I'm actually irreplaceable.
I think Misbehave in TV was going on podcast to throw her new. No, that would be a terrible idea. I would not like that at all. We are
Let's
not
make
going to invite. I'm
let's
not inviting that person. She can just not come over here. That would be a bad idea. Just such a bad idea. But we'll have to find somebody else. I will post in the server if for anybody to throw their hat into the ring, and we'll see if nobody steps up. I'm tempted to just do it by myself and just sit here with
You're
like a
gonna
picture of Spoon, just like
gonna
a picture of Spoon, and just start talking to the picture of Spoon. Just like, so Spoon, what do you think? Well, I think that that's a nice
I
perspective. Well,
think
I
that
think,
JRPGs are the best, and
well,
that
gosh, Spoon, I appreciate your opinion
everybody
on JRPGs. I think they're great.
everybody should play Trails of Cold
I should,
Steel and Persona and Xenoblade and
oh my
13
god,
Sentinels.
should just record a couple lines from Spoon and just
Yeah.
reuse those lines. Like, I love
Oh, it's
JRPGs.
wow, guys.
Hey guys, did someone say humankind? And then just have like a reel of spoon things, like quotes. Oh my gosh, that would be like just the weirdest episode. That'd be so weird. I feel like I'd get on some like goofs reel or something. Take a look at this idiot talking to a picture. Take a look at this dumbass. Look at this loser. It's like, okay. That sounds pretty great. I don't know about that. It sounds
I
like
think
something that I'd be like, I'd like get on a show somewhere where like, this is what desperation looks like, and it's just by me waving.
I
Like,
think it would be funny for like 5 minutes, but it's a 2-hour podcast.
It's a
so
2 hour podcast.
we get
So
old
it'd just be
get old
freaking
pretty
terrible.
fast.
It would be terrible. It's a terrible idea. So I'll pose some to see. Publicity is publicity. The bad publicity, any publicity, bad publicity is still is still publicity and all that. But
Any publicity is good
yeah, any
publicity.
publicity is good publicity. But I will counter that. That is not always true. That is 100% not true. And there are cases where that is not true. I can speak from experience that not all publicity is good publicity. It really isn't. If you get a very big name to say that you are stupid, that is not good publicity. That means you're stupid, and they are telling you you're stupid, and all their fans think you're stupid. So
Well,
it's
it
not.
doesn't necessarily mean you're stupid, but there's going to be a lot of people who think you're
Yeah,
stupid.
and
'Cause
that's
someone
terrible.
with a big name is
But
saying that you're stupid.
but if you're egirl.gg or epal.gg, whatever it is. By the way, we haven't checked in on epal in a while. Um, then it's good publicity. That actually was great publicity for them, getting like everybody being like, "What is this site? This is weird." That actually worked out really well in their favor. So I will say it does work sometimes. But dude, get a girl off ePals. Oh my god, that's such a weird thing. It's like, hey, I'll pay you $5 if you join the podcast for 2 hours.
I think that would cost more than $5.
It's like, okay, I'll give you $10. Are we negotiating? How about $10? I haven't checked on that site in a long time. I kind of want to go to it now. epal.gg. Okay, I want to see if it still exists. Never battle alone, meet now. That's bad. Uh-oh. Meet?
Close.
Improve matching accuracy by setting your game preferences. Oh my god, it's like Twitter now. Or not Twitter, excuse me. Tinder. It's like Tinder now. You can swipe. You can basically swipe.
Delete your search history. I don't know.
Oh my god, I have to see this. Oh yeah, this is just okay. Oh, there is an e-chat. There is an e-chat option. There's a
E-chat.
lot of games. Oh my god, there's a ton of games on here now. Holy moly. There's a ton of games on here now to get people to join you. That's crazy. Okay, anyway. It's like holy crap. This is like it's like Tinder now.
The Steam sale is going on now. I think it opened yesterday.
Yeah, it opened yesterday, and all Twitter had to say was, "Look at all these sales," and it said 0% off. So I don't know if it's actually like fixed or not. Let me see the store.
Oh, is it? I mean, I saw Hades was 20% off again. So if we're gonna get it, we
Oh,
should.
Pog. Yeah, I see it is. It's like $20 on here. I see that. Yeah. I don't know what games on here are gonna be good on the sale. I should really take a look at this. Oh, Assassin's Creed Odyssey is $18. That's a good deal. That's a steal right there. Mass Effect Andromeda, $10. For those of you that are interested in Mass Effect Andromeda, $10.
It might be worth $10.
It might be worth $10 actually. Cyberpunk is still $60. Pog. What did you say with the nonary games? Oh yeah, you mentioned that to me before.
9.99.
999.
Yeah.
Guys, The Sims 4 is $5.
Yeah, but what about the $6 million of DLC?
Yeah, that's totally different, right? Let me see. What's one of them? 999? Is that what it's actually called? Just 999, or is it something else? It's clearly not that.
I think nonary games.
I see Zero Escape, the nonary games.
Escape, the nonary games. Yeah, that's.
Oh man. Okay, so it's like $12 on here. The nonary games. Okay, interesting. Oh, there's like multiple in this. There's multiple games in here. Interesting. Okay, cool. Very cool. Okay.
Uh, Danganronpa, Danganronpa is probably on sale too. Those games are fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I actually think you would like Danganronpa. Like no memes.
Maybe. Just maybe.
Well, you probably wouldn't like the evil teddy bear, but
Guys, Among Us is 20% off. Instead of it being $5, it's
it's
$4.
four.
Okay, thanks. Okay, thanks. It's like, okay. Ooh, Far Cry 5 is $12. That is a good game for $12. If you like open world games, open world first person shooter games, that's a good one. That's a great game for that price for sure. Shoot, I gotta find others that are on here. But there's some good stuff. Code Vein is $24. FIFA. Anybody want FIFA?
Oh boy, FIFA.
Anybody want FIFA? That's the game right there.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Steam sale. Most things are on sale on the Steam sale, at least a little bit.
Yeah,
Um,
for the most part, yeah. Play Coaster. Yeah, there's some good stuff. Death Stranding, $30. If you want to
that's
know
not
what
bad.
it's like to be a delivery driver, that's what
Yeah,
I would do.
Delivery Walker.
Yeah, that's actually a fact. Delivery Walker. Um, yeah, I mean there's some good stuff. There definitely is good stuff on here. Witcher 3 is $12. That's a steal right there. Star Wars Squadron's another great game. That's $24. Doom Eternal is $20. Okay, I may have to get Doom Eternal now. So Doom Eternal may be purchased. That is a great game for $20. I may have to get Doom Eternal.
Dang, that's so. That game came out this year.
Yes, that is such a good
$20?
price. Holy moly.
Wow.
Marvel's Avengers is $30.
Ame-
Just
Avengers is more than Doom. That's a
yeah, that's
lull.
actually
That's a
an Omega
that's a
lull.
big. I mean, I guess Avengers came out more recently, but still. Ugh.
Yakuza Like a Dragon is $45 right now. That has a sale on it.
Yeah,
That's tempting too.
I may look into like the other Yakuza games.
That is super tempting. Super tempting. So let's see what else. I don't know. There's like some good stuff. We should definitely like look through the store, the Steam store more and see what's up. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't really have anything else to add today. I'm just like I'm just hanging out. Um,
Yeah.
do you want if there's anything else like we should like that you wanted to bring up, do it. Otherwise, I could just like talk a bit about some other stuff that I'm thinking about for the channel I wanted to mention that I didn't get to mention
We can
before.
go into that. The only other thing I can think about is like games we may be looking forward to that are coming out early in the year, like in the next few months. Like I have a few that I could mention at
Okay,
least.
so go ahead. Yeah, mention them. Yeah, go ahead.
So actually, February is pretty spicy for JRPGs.
Mm-hmm.
So in early February, I want to say like the second or the third. We've talked about it before briefly, but East Nine is
Yes,
coming out
that one.
in
Yes,
early February. East Nine Months from Nox, so
that's a
that'll
good
be
one.
good.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna be a good one.
Yeah, East Eight was great. That one's probably on sale too
Oh, of course,
on Steam.
of course.
I would. Yeah, that's 23.99 on Steam, which
It's
is
a
a
good game.
steal for that game. It's a really good game.
Not
Um,
exciting graphics. Graphics are not
no,
exciting, but the game is
no,
good.
it doesn't look great.
But the
For a
game is good.
PS4 game, it looks pretty meh. It doesn't look terrible, but yeah, it looks pretty meh.
It's okay. It just looks good.
Um,
Yeah. What other stuff?
yeah, Falcom is not a high budget studio, so you're never gonna get great graphics out of them.
What
Um,
other stuff though? February.
and then the other two in February, in a little later, around the 20th, is Persona 5 Strikers or whatever it's called, the Persona 5 Muso. They're making a Muso game for
Oh,
Persona 5. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just like
I mean,
okay. I don't.
I'll get it because it's more Persona 5 and it'll be fun, even though it's a Muso
I
game.
mean, it's yeah.
Um,
You know what you're getting. I'll just.
you know what you're
You know what
getting,
you're getting.
but more Persona 5 characters. Excited for that. And then The other one at the end of February, again, I don't remember the exact day, is Bravely Default 2. There is a demo. It's on the Switch. There is a demo up for it that you can play if you're interested. Um, I don't. Hold on.
I feel like we've mentioned this before. It was like
Yeah,
a
we have.
turn-based game.
It is. It is a
The
turn-based. It
characters
is a
look kind
turn.
of chibi.
Yeah, I'm not a real big fan of the character
Yeah,
design,
the
like
characters are like chibi characters, right? They're
the
like the
models.
big heads.
Yeah,
Do they have big heads, right? They got like big heads.
yeah. I
Yeah,
don't really love the character
yeah, I hate
models
that. I gotta be honest with you. I hate
either.
that design. I don't know why people like it. I hate it. I hate it so much. The little chibi characters with big heads. I hate it.
It kind of made some sense for the original game because it was on DS or 3DS.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, if the hardware is a
But
limiting factor, then I'm okay with it. But it's the Switch. The hardware is not the issue.
yeah, for this one, yeah, they
Auto
should have
hates
fixed it.
chibis because looks like I look like a chibi IRL. That's kind of toxic. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That that's pretty
That's
toxic.
actually pretty toxic, Tricourage. You
Trying
gotta
to see.
relax. That was the first hurtful thing you said to me all podcast. I'm happy about that, but that was toxic.
I thought it was maybe developed by the same people that made Octopath, but I'm not sure that's true. So,
That'd be interesting. Yeah.
but I
What other
mean,
stuff?
yeah, it kind of uses a um yeah, it's a turn-based system, and you have your kind of classic job Final Fantasy job system, where you level up jobs and you can change jobs and you get different skills through the jobs and stuff. Um, but the main thrust of the battle system, which is why it's called Bravely Default, is there's a BP system like in Octopath,
Sure.
but it doesn't build up passively like in
Okay.
Octopath. In
Okay.
order to gain a BP, there might be some skills that you can use to do it. I'm not sure, but you have to default, which is guarding basically.
Mm-hmm.
So if you default, your character guards for the turn, and they gain a BP, and the enemies can do it too. Um, and then you can spend your BP up to 3 to do like 4 actions in a row, basically, just like an Octopath. But you can also go into BP deficit if you want. You can
I've
store
heard
up to
about
3
this. Yeah, you
and
told me
then
about this.
spend all 3. But if you're at 0, you can decide to spend 3 if you want to spend 3. And you go to -3, and then your character just misses their next 3 turns, basically. They just have to spend their turn. They just regen a
Yeah, it's all
BP
in. You
each
go all
each
in.
turn, and they go until you get back to 0, and then you get a turn again.
Yeah, you're going all in.
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
so yeah, you can go all in. You can. So yeah, I mean that's the main thrust of the battle system. To be honest, is the brave and default system. So yeah, you can go all in and go into deficit, or you can just save. You can default to build up BP.
Sure.
But the interesting thing about the system as opposed to Octopath is in Octopath when you boost, you can only do like one thing with the boost, right? So you pick like a spell or a skill or
Mm-hmm.
attack, and you boost for all of that. In Bradley Default, when you boost or when you use BP, you can pick a different action with each BP, with the exception of defaults. You can't default
Yeah,
with one of
sure.
your BP actions.
Okay.
That wouldn't make sense.
Okay.
So you can attack with all 4 of them, or if you're say you're like a white mage or something, you can like heal, and then like attack, or if you have a character that has like a white mage black mage combo, maybe you need to heal some. So if you're having 3 BP, you can like cure and then cast 2 black magic spells like fire or something
Mm-hmm.
like that. So you can kind of split up how you use your BP instead of, again, in Octopath it's just like, okay, you spend all your BP and then you're either attacking or you're using one skill or spell with all of that
Sure.
boosted BP. Um, so yeah, you know, I agree with you on the character models. I don't really love them, but it's a JRPG. I'll probably get it. I think the demo's pretty fun. I don't. Yeah,
Okay.
if you're interested, you can check out the demo on Switch.
Yeah, I feel like
Bravely
we
Default
mentioned
2.
this before that you said the demo was actually really hard though. You said the demo was
That
actually
was the
pretty
original. That
difficult.
was the
Oh, this is a
that was
different
the
one.
first demo. This is a
This
new
first
demo
okay,
that
new
went up.
demo.
It
New demo.
it went up last week. It's actually like a similar bit of content as the first demo, but it's also similar to the Octopath demo in that they don't start you at the very beginning of the game. They don't start you in the prologue, but they start you in chapter one, and you get to play like up to 5 hours, and then the demo just ends, kind of like with Octopath the Octopath demo,
Sure.
where you just got to play 3 hours in the Octopath demo. This one you get five. But
Interesting.
yeah,
Okay, so you get extra time.
so yeah.
Okay, cool. Just trying
And then
to
humankind obviously in
in
April, which we
April.
already talked
Yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah.
So
Of course, of course, of course. Can't forget that.
yep.
Anyway,
What about for you? Anything else on
I'm,
the on the
I don't even know
oh,
the upcoming game schedule at this point.
yeah.
I'm just going with it. I'm I'm just right now relaxing. I'm taking my rest time. I'm still, a little bit giddy over school. I'm not going to lie to you. And I'm just thinking about what games I would want to play now outside of the ones that I'm already playing. Like Yakuza, Like a Dragon, actually does look like a game I'd really enjoy. It's got the right kind of humor, and I do think it looks like a good game. So I would be more than happy to dive into that and play it.
But you gotta play Xenoblade.
Yes, I said outside of the things that are currently in
Okay.
my backlog. I did say
Yeah.
that. I haven't forgotten about Xenoblade, but
Okay.
it is, yeah. I've heard Yakuza is a long game, but it looks really good. So that's I'm keeping an eye on it. That'll be like distant future. Hopefully by like spring, I'll actually get to play it with school and everything. Um, so that's all I think about is like Doom Eternal too. I'd love to play Doom Eternal, but don't have time for it. There's all this stuff that I think about. Okay, what would I play that's like $20 right now, like on a sale? That's what I think about for upcoming. I don't have upcoming games right now. I'm just like, okay, well, what came out that I want to play that I can't right now? Because I got a backlog and I'm not even joking. It's massive. I still want to play Resident Evil 7. That's how big the backlog is, and that game came out a long time ago. In the context of all these games, I still want to play Resident Evil 7. As a side note, I tried to play Resident Evil 4 the other day. Yeah, that game didn't date well. That game is dated. I hate aiming the gun in that game. I absolutely hate it.
You can't move and aim at the same time, right? You
Yeah,
have to like
I
stop
played I
and
played Dead Space and then I tried to play that and I said this sucks.
yeah.
This sucks right now. I'm like this is terrible. I got so angry. I was so angry regarding it. I know it's a good game for especially for its time, but after
Yeah.
playing something like Dead Space and other games now, it's terrible to play. It really
Yeah, no,
frustrates me.
it was really kind of cool and innovative for its time, but yeah, it's
It's
not.
tough to play now. I'm just gonna say that it's tough. But
There are a lot of
um,
old games that are like that that are really difficult to go back and play.
Otto was playing old games in Fortnite. I played one game of Fortnite. That was my thing actually. I confessed that I played one game of Fortnite last night. I played a single game, and I only have like the Borderlands skins because I played Borderlands 3. I played one game. I'll admit that I didn't win, but I got a couple kills. So that was all I needed. My impression of Fortnite is I do not like its controls regarding the building stuff, but it's a game that's okay. Like, not all the time, though. I wouldn't play it all the time. I feel like I would hate it all the time. That's my impression of Fortnite after one game. The I was gonna mention this outside of like games is for the people that are still hanging out here in chat. So there's like I definitely like for me I told Spoon about this like yesterday or probably the before then. If you guys know people that would be interested in joining the Discord and all that, you should invite them, regardless of if you think they'll be interested or not. The reason why I say this is because if you invite them and they take the invite and they decide they don't like it, guess what? It's free for them to go in and out of the Discord server. There's quite literally no harm to us when that happens. So if you think somebody you want to invite them, just like hang out. We're trying to grow our little community here. Just invite them. That's what
Well,
I've done. I invited the Rainbow Six folks. I would love for them to actually play Rainbow Six on the channel, and I invited some other folks from the past. Like I invited Xcog, that was Catgirl. I invited her because she played Tales of Christoria with us, and she hung out with us before. Just like invite some people and then let them decline. Did I invite Ian? I should invite Ian. Try send Ian an invite. Send him an invite and say I'd like, and said Otto wants you to join his podcast server, and then let him politely decline if he wants. That's my whole thing. Just let them decline.
Or let them join and just mute the server and never
Yeah,
pay attention.
just
That's
like
fine.
what it's. I mean, like, but in either case, we don't know if they'll do that right away. I mean, I assume people will do it, but there might be people that will come in, not mute her right away, and then say, "Oh, look, a movie night. Maybe I'll join for like movies or something like that." That's no harm to us, if you understand what I'm saying there. It really isn't. The worst thing that happens is they say no, or they come in there, don't like it, and leave. It's That's it. That's really it. Oh, then there's Ian. So just like, yeah, it's just like that's how you do things. It's getting out of the comfort zone and just let him jump in. And if Ian doesn't like it, he can leave, and that's like his choice. If you invite somebody and they don't like it, they can leave. Like that's it. So I just wanted to point that out there because I think it's like that's like the way you grow your community is you kind of have to put yourself out there and let them decide if they like it or not. That's really what you have to do. And if you're doing a decent job, they may stay. But chances are they'll leave or not pay attention. But that's like really not a that worst thing in the world. So if anybody wants to invite anybody else that they know of or know somebody that might be want to like join the server, just invite them. Who cares? So that's my whole thing on Discord. As far as the YouTube videos are concerned, I did want to mention I didn't mention it. I did actually want to say again, like thank you, Bray and Try, for commenting on those videos. You actually have no idea how important that is. But the more people we get to comment on those videos, the more YouTube will go, huh, these guys have activity. Maybe we should show it to 5 extra people.
Yeah, maybe we should recommend this to a
We
few
should
people.
recommend this to
See if
5 other
they click on
people.
it.
So just keep commenting on those videos. I'll probably post something in the Discord server about it. And plus, like for you guys, I don't usually like putting it this way because it's not like the best way I would contextualize it, but it's like 10 seconds to do it. But I can understand when people don't do it. But like if you're willing to take the minute to help support us, that's like one way to do it is like the video and just comment on it. Just put any comment you want. Tell me I'm a chibi character in the comment. Okay? I'm okay with that. So that's also my thing on that. So again, just like coming from me in particular, like really appreciate you guys doing that. Like when I see those comments on the videos through when I'm uploading videos, I really appreciate that. So just keep doing that stuff. We really appreciate it. I'm sorry, I'm confused. Will you go get Lament? Oh,
Is that something in
it's a
Destiny?
Destiny thing. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't read that right the first time. Yeah, sure. I forgot how to do it though. I think I have to kill like a certain number of Vex or something, in a certain way with like a sword. I don't remember. Um, yeah, sure. If you get people to join, I'll get Lament. It's like the best weapon. It's like one of the best weapons in the game right now. It's the best sword, and I still haven't gotten it. Everybody else has it but me, because I don't know. I told them I don't care about. I just don't care about that
Because you
stuff.
don't care. You
I
just
just
don't
don't care
care.
about that stuff. I'm like, okay, cool, thanks. Like, we still got through the raid. We're fine. I'm fine.
You don't
Anyway,
you don't need to be the MLG Pro
no,
Destiny
I'm
2
not.
gamer
No, I'm
best
not.
MLG. No,
No,
okay.
of course not. That was like that was like me 10 years ago. At this point, I'm just like, no, I don't care. That's not my priority. It's a chainsaw sword. Yeah, I get it. I get it. You know what's cooler? A chainsaw gun in Gears. That's a game I want to play too. Gears 5. There you go. There's another one in the backlog. Um, but yeah, any other stuff, Spoon? Before we kind of like start closing down here. Also, my parents are ordering
Um,
food, so I'm trying to figure out what I want. Ooh.
no, I think we've exhausted our topics list for the day. I mean, I could go on about 13 Sentinels or humankind more if you want, but I don't think you want to hear that.
What with humankind and Sentinels? I mean, if you tell me more about Sentinels, didn't you say you'd spoil it? So wouldn't that be
Yeah,
detrimental to
no,
my
I
enjoyment?
mean, yeah, I can't really talk about Sentinels that
Yeah.
much
See,
more because
and well, as far as humankind is concerned, I mean, like you've definitely explained quite a bit with me. Again, I know it's not the same
Civ.
as Civ, but like I understand that. Like I think the nicest thing about humankind, from what I've heard, is you can be so flexible with your tactic in a given era. So,
That
like you said, if you're boxed in one part and you feel like, okay, maybe I want to expand out and get away from this situation, you can just pick a new. I don't think it's a culture, but a
it's called
new.
they're called
Oh, they're called
cultures,
cultures.
yeah, at,
Yeah,
at each era.
yeah, yeah. You can just pick a new culture and like and pivot your tactic.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool
it's
because in Civ you can't really pivot particularly well given
yeah,
a certain culture.
you pick your civ, you either, whatever your civ's good at, if it's science or military or
Right.
culture or whatever it is, and that's kind of like your win condition for the game, and you just go into
You just
that.
go for it. But
And
with
yeah,
it's
and,
nice to be able
and
to pivot. Flexibility, it seems cool.
that was, as I said, that was my favorite part of open dev, where I picked a builder one to start out just to get going, and I got boxed in. I was like, okay, I'm gonna pick the Huns and just kill some people so I can
Right.
get some more space. And then after that, I just went into turtle mode. I picked a science civ next because I'm like, all right, I need to build up my science. So I just picked a
Yeah, you just
science
pivot.
culture, and then the last era, I picked a aesthete, which are the culture based ones, like influence is your main
Sure, sure.
like
But
victory condition.
it's
So
that
yeah,
yeah.
after I got my space and built out my empire, I was like, all right, I'll just go into turtle mode and just build up all my cities, and I'm good. I'll just build up my science
No, no.
and do it that way. So
Yeah, that's no, no, no. I like that as a concept, being able to just freely pivot given you
yeah.
want to change up your tactic. So,
And the balance, I think, is almost inevitably going to be terrible because there are 60 different cultures to choose
sure.
from, and you know like a million combinations or something like that.
Yeah, sure,
So
sure.
there's going to be easy ways to break the game, and there's going to be some that aren't that good, and the balance is going to be a nightmare for this game. I think
Oh,
that might
absolutely.
be a problem. But again, if they just make everything OP, then it's fine. It'll be fun. Yes, everything's OP. It's cool.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, hey, you know what? That's a strategy. If everything is OP, then it's balanced because everything's OP. So anything you pick is going to be strong. So yeah. Um but yeah, listen, I
yeah,
think
no,
yesterday it's a good time
we're there.
because
We can call
yeah.
it. We can call
Plus
it.
I got to figure out food, you know? I got to figure out
Yeah,
food.
we all gotta eat.
So we'll call here. I already said my thing for my part of the conclusion, but Spoon, do you want to add anything? You're more than welcome to add something to what I said before.
Um, no, not really.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, we just appreciate everyone showing up, supporting, being in chat, and as Otto said, commenting on YouTube videos. Again, feel free to actually, we'd appreciate it if you spread around the Discord invite, the Twitter, just let
Yeah.
people know that, if you like the podcast, which if you're here, I assume you do, um, that, this is a thing that you like watching. They may not be able to sit down every week and watch it for 2 hours, but if you know, they want to hang out for a bit, or if they want to watch a bit of the YouTube videos, and all that. Also, man, I've been meaning to do it,
Oh, what?
to upload the second episode of The Walking
Sure.
Dead. I have the video, I just keep forgetting. I meant to do it today because I actually went out for a couple of hours today, and that would have been a good time to do it, but
Sure, sure, sure.
I forgot because I'm an idiot. Um, I'll get that up eventually when I
Just do it
run through it.
tomorrow. No, really, just do it tomorrow. That's like the best time to do it would be like tomorrow afternoon. That's like I usually like that stuff. That's a good time for my in my experience. So anyway, since everybody's talking about if they got Waffle House or not or what they're making for food, we'll call it there. Thanks everybody. We really appreciate it. And I'm gonna put in the server who wants to join me in 2 weeks for the podcast, and we'll also be figuring out next week's episode as well. So we'll post that. And then Spoon, just quickly clarify, Walking Dead when this week?
Probably either tomorrow or Friday.
Okay, so we'll be sure, like, if that does happen, to tweet about it or put it in Discord or something like that. So, anyway, thanks everybody. and we will hopefully see you, this week on the stream when Spoon's playing or if I'm doing something, and then we'll see you next week for the podcast too. Thanks, guys.
See ya.